Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. We're into the final round before the playoffs, and this game a crucial one for the Crusaders campaign. They are up against the top of the table Hurricanes, and if they win this game with a bonus point and the Chiefs versus Blues game goes the way that they need it to, could be a home game next week, 3 in a row in that case. For this Crusaders side, this game was sold out on Saturday. That is how much anticipation there has been for these two sides clashing. Now, there were a few surprises in terms of the lineup. We saw both sides going a bit experimental in certain positions, but it's still going to be an epic game under the roof in Christchurch for the 16th round of Super Rugby Pacific. Looking through at the starting lineups, we will start with the home side, the Crusaders. They have got George Bauer, Cody Taylor and Fletcher Null as the front rowers. Antonio Shalfoon in the locking jaw alongside Jamie Hanna. And then Dom Gardner, Ethan Blackadder and Christian Leo Willie there as the number 8. No Lester Whainanuku for this game. I assume that's just down to resting. I didn't see too many injury reports around that man, but someone who is out. Unfortunately for the rest of the Super Rugby season, it is Will Jordan. He will not be back for this Crusader side, and we know how different they can play when he is not a part of their setup, so it will be very intriguing to see how they do here. Although a great replacement in Johnny McNichol at 15 scored himself 2 tries just last week. Also in the back line, Noah Hotham alongside Reyes Rehana as that 9 and 10 combo. Sevu Reece out on the left wing. David Havili, the captain, at number 12 with Dallas McLeod at 13. And then Che Fiaki as the number 14 for this game. Looking through at the Canes, they have gone very experimental in terms of their lineup. Xavier Numia in the front row alongside Raymond Tuputupu and Tyrell Lomax at 3. Hugo Plummer and Isaiah Walker-Leawiri make up the locking duo with Brad Shields, the skipper, as the 6. Cooper Flanders. Now, we're used to seeing a different Flanders in that loose forward trio for the season, that being Devon. Sadly, he is now injured, but we do get to see Cooper get the chance here. The younger brother, who some have even praised a little bit more than Devon Flanders when it comes to recent NPC. So maybe he'll be able to give himself a good old go out there on the field. And then also at number 8, Arisi Polico, he will close out the 4 backs. So in terms of the starting lineup, you see no Duplessis Karefi, you see no Peter Larkai, no Devon Flanders like I mentioned. It's looking pretty different, but it's still dangerous for this Hurricanes game away from home. Cam Roygar back in after his injury. He partners with Callum Harkin in that 9 and 10 combination. Kenny Naholo, he recently returned from that long-term injury. He is out on the left. Johnny Rover and Josh Timu make up the midfield. Tiniela Filimoni out on the right wing. And then Josh Morby, who's been in sensational scoring form, he fills in at fullback away from the right wing. But looking through at the chat, we have got the, let's go the Hurricanes. Says a Mort in there. We have got, wow, what a cute guy from Sophia, very generous. Of course, we have got the hello, how are you, says Fahi. I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this game, to be honest, but I'm also excited because we've got a little bit of something different going on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, for this one. You will notice a little QR code to my side, and you also notice that pinned comment. And there's going to be a live quiz going on all throughout this contest with live opportunities to get questions right, earn points, all sorts. It's called Next Play. The fellas, I'll be honest, they're sitting about 10 meters away from me. They're in the lounge at the moment running this one. So if you haven't already, be sure to join it. You can actually join it while still watching the stream as well. But whoever wins himself a Super Rugby scarf from one of the New Zealand sides of their choosing. So you might as well take part, see if you can get some predictions right along the way as well. We have got there. Good morning. How are you, Hamish? You ready for the busy weekend? Not really. I don't think I've mentally prepared as of yet for the lack of sleep I'm going to be getting over the last or the next 4 days, but it's going to be some good rugby on. The URC quarterfinal, Super Rugby's final round, some sevens thrown in there for good measure as well. We have there waiting for the sevens calendar. I hope you're streaming Kenya versus Australia. We certainly are. We will be live for that game taking place at around 10 p.m. New Zealand time. So in around 3 or so hours time, Hurricanes with the debut and a player with 1 cap in the loose forwards. A bit worried for them. And when you see who they're up against, that is true. But I think that the massive benefit that the Hurricanes have at the moment is they can't go anywhere. They are still going to be number 1 whether they lose or win this game. And they've also got the lucky loser to fall back on if they did somehow lose next week as well. They would still be through to the semi-final. So, yes, it's a very different looking team, but I think it comes down to resting a few guys as well as just giving opportunity to some of those fringe players just in case there is any sort of injury that can occur in the next little while. We have got there, never change Hurricanes, you're the best. This team don't respect Crusaders too much, chop them, says Shane. And we have also got there, be single, says Sophia. And also we've got Go Hurricanes, make me liquid, nice price. What does that mean, David? I assume that means you put money on them at the moment. Who can stop the Hurricanes in 2026? At the moment on the poll, no one can is the one that's leading. So that is how highly people feel of this Hurricanes team. But to be honest, this is going to be a tough game for them. Yes, the Crusaders are Will Jordan-less. And I feel like that's going to be a common saying throughout the next few weeks for this Crusaders campaign. But they do still have some very handy players across their lineup. These are the benches as well, ladies and gentlemen. While we're at it, I'll just quickly jump myself to the side. We'll come back to that other one in a quick moment. But looking through, Letiu, Finley Brewis, and Seb Calder as the replacement front rows. The youngster Liam Jack got himself his debut last week. He is 19 with Johnny Lee at number 20. Kyle Preston, Taha Kimura, and Cooper Roberts at number 23. So quite a young bench for the Crusaders as a whole. For the Hurricanes, they have got a few more of those guys who haven't had much of a chance, but now get the opportunity. Devery, Polridekiti Stones, and Davida Mafileo as the front rowers. Tom Allen alongside Pataya, Phil Ewan, Cashmore, and Balin Sullivan could be quite the impact player off of the bench here as well. But we will look through. I hear Sasha's not playing tomorrow. That'll be a big hit if he is injured in that scenario for the Stormers. Of course, he would love to be playing up against Cardiff, a side that they did lose to just not too long ago. We have got there Irish. Will you last week? And we missed you there. Will you last week? Irish, I'm confused. I assume you're saying you wish I was here last week for the Crusaders game, which was a very good one up against the Chiefs. I will mention it was a back and forth encounter in Christchurch. This one could be a little bit the same, although Crusaders come in as favourites due to those changes that we're seeing for this Hurricane side. Looking through at the way that the table sits currently, the Hurricanes, they are at the top of the bunch with 55 points. The Chiefs, they are in second on 46, and then the Blues and Crusaders, only 2 points separating these two sides. It is all to play for when it comes to that top kind of 3, 4, 5 position. And crazy thing is, if the Crusaders lose this game, they can actually finish as low as 6th, which would then mean that they rematch the Hurricanes next week in Wellington for the playoff games. Now, currently, the home games are confirmed for the Hurricanes and the Chiefs. That third playoff game, still wait and see the situation for the teams. Looking through Crusaders in terms of their most recent games, they did narrowly lose to the Hurricanes in Wellington, 38 points to the 31. From there, they beat the Blues and they beat the Chiefs. They had a lot of New Zealand derbies. In fact, their last 4 games of the season, the regular one, they will be up against New Zealand sides. And to be fair, if they make it through as the top qualifier in 3rd or 4th, they will still find themselves going more than likely up against another New Zealand side too. Rob Penny getting interviewed here, but he is one of the guys who will not be there next year. It has been talked about how the coaching is going to be changing for the Crusaders. For the Hurricanes, we've seen some great work from Clark Laidlaw. They were able to beat the Crusaders, like I mentioned, winning up against Moana Pacifica, beating the Blues and also beating the Highlanders on quite the streak at the moment for this side. And in 11 minutes' time, we'll get to see them in action yet again. But I've done a lot of talking throughout that first about 10 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you are all doing well and I hope you're excited for this one. We have got there, you will do this time the World Cup before it will be easy as compared to the previous one, says Fan. That is very true. Like the World Cup in Australia is going to be perfect because I will get to sleep, which is good. We have got the good morning Amish in chat, says hey no. People overhyping the game's not going to lie. I don't think this Hurricane side on paper are the same caliber as the ones that we've seen in the past. But that doesn't mean that they aren't going to be very dangerous heading into those playoffs. I thought they had a pretty good shot from the start, and they have had some phenomenal players come up through their mix. We have got their Crusaders, says Glory, and Yago Sports, says Sophia, and there as well. And this sport, it's got about 30,000 in attendance for this game. Christchurch was going to be relatively busy today, and yeah, it's a big old stadium. They got some nice chicken tenders, I will say. I had them last week. We have got there. What time is kickoff? Kickoff is in 10 minutes time. So anyone who hasn't already, be sure to join in for that poll, for that next play. They had an old name. I almost said the old one. Next play prediction. It is there, the QR code, as well as the pinned comment. And if you get in there and you win in the overall points department, you will get yourself a Super Rugby scarf of one of the New Zealand teams that you're choosing. I am also going to be trying to win it, which seems a little bit like inside, maybe a little bit of foul play. But I don't think I'm the best at predictions. As you guys know, So I think you guys will finish high. And we have actually got someone from Next Play in the chat there. We have got, hi everybody, I'm Adam from the Next Play team. We've got Elliot pushing the questions, and I'll be here in the comment section. If you guys are facing any difficulties at me, we'll try and fix it. I should also mention these guys, they're out of Auckland University. It is an all New Zealand-based thing, and it is very new. They've only done a couple trials. They have decided that rugby, not a bad option, and to be fair, it can be a very fast-paced, unpredictable game. So if anything's going wrong on the app or anything is happening that you feel could be improved, chuck it in the chat. They are listening. They are also just over there. So I won't be talking too much smack about it because they can reach me. But no, it's a good app. It's a good idea. And hopefully it all works smoothly. And I got better Wi-Fi today as well, I should mention. Got the Ethernet cable. So we're all good to go. You are good at predictions. I only get like 1 in every 50 right. The benefit I have is you guys see all of my bad predictions, but it seems to only be the good ones that get remembered. It's asking me to log in, but I have logged in. Says Jasmine. I do actually see you on the live standings at the moment, Nov Mum. So hopefully it is going to let you. Got a few other people in there as well. I am the Kiwi Lads. That seemed like a fitting name for myself. But yeah, hopefully once it gets underway, it will start going smoothly as can be. And this game, it is only sitting around 9 minutes away. I have a lovely smile in there, Sophia, and I'll be smiling from ear to ear from this game, of course, other than the fact that Will Jordan's gone. I know that a lot of people love seeing that man out on the field for the Crusaders. Not there now, but we'll be back for the All Blacks. Is this a quarterfinal? Not quite. Round before the quarterfinals. In fact, what I will do is I will show you this. Now, I will mention these are not confirmed. I'm back to the flip, so I think it's actually this side now. Hurricanes, they are playing Friday night. The Chiefs are not. I believe they will be playing on Saturday. Potentially an early kickoff on the Saturday with the 3rd versus 4th still to be confirmed, but these are pretty much the gist of how the top 6 sit currently. Everyone else inside of that top 6 can move, but we've got our top 6 confirmed. It's going to be the Reds, the Brumbies, the Hurricanes, the Chiefs, the Crusaders, and the Blues. No one else can sneak in, I don't think. Unless, actually, the Waratahs, if they won, never mind, because they haven't got enough wins. Take that back. The top 6 is confirmed. Now it's just a question of who gets to play who. We have got there the top 6 is correct, and also we have got there, good morning, Amy says, hi, Lollipop, welcome in. We have got there, by the way, I've made the lineups a bit smaller. Then the QR code can be bigger if you want to change it. Says, hey, no. I think for a future one we may be able to. I think it will be a little bit tricky to adjust it right now, but I'll give you a message straight afterwards. We have got there, didn't they learn from Foster? It's disrespectful unveiling new coach Scott Hansen, says Shane. Yeah, it's been announced relatively early. Normally you hear it after the season. Who do you think will win the comp if you had to guess? I do see you're in the comp as well. But I actually, little bit of a dark horse, I would say, Nov Mum. She's a smart lady. And she seems to be able to get things roughly right a lot of the time. So I wouldn't put it past her. I know that Hayno's decent with his Super Brew. But yeah, it's going to be very intriguing to see who goes up. And I will mention, as it progresses, you're in the scenario of the points get higher and higher. So it does mean that if you get off to an absolutely dreadful start and think that you are terrible at predictions, you can actually still win the whole thing because the points just keep on going boom, 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 and get a little bit bigger each and every time. We'll be covering the Australian ODI series against Pakistan. Not yet that I know of. I'll have to check what time they are taking place. I want to do a little bit of the New Zealand versus England test match, but whether or not we will be able to might be a different story just because of time zones and everything along those lines. But we will see what happens. And of course, once I do know, we'll keep you posted. We have got keep an eye on Cooper Flanders. He's pretty good. This should be Crusaders with a team. Oh, there's a question at the moment. Who will score the first try, ladies and gentlemen? Has just popped up, although it isn't there in the bottom corner as of yet. But if you are on the app, you can get 5,000 points for predicting who will score the first try of the contest. So be sure to get in your predictions there. And we have there, go the Crusaders, I think, says Sophia. Yeah, they are the favourites for this contest. A hometown favourites as well in terms of the people. Oh, there's only 30 seconds left of that question. It's gone now. Time's up. We'll see who gets that one right. Of course, this game is just about to get underway. We have got their Reds and Brumbies are playing tomorrow. Is that right, says Galaxy? Yeah, so Reds... Oh, no. Reds play tonight up against the Fijian draw, but we are doing some sevens that has taken place at the same time. And then from there, Moana play the Brumbies tomorrow as the early game on Saturday. The lighting's jumping around a little bit, isn't it? I'll duck down a little bit. It might help in that regard. But currently it's just the 5 minutes till the kickoff. We will go through the starting lineups again for anyone who is unaware of what changes have been made for the Crusaders. It is George Bower, Cody Taylor and Fletcher Null as the front rowers. Antonio Chalfoun with Jamie Hannah in the locking duo with Dom Gardner, Ethan Blackadder and Christian Leo Willie. They will make up the loose forward trio. Reves Reihana and Noah Hotham as that 9 and 10 combination. Sevu Reece out on the left wing. David Havili and Dallas McLeod, they will be the 12 and 13. McLeod's a little bit of a dark horse. I know that the question was who's going to score the first try out of the teams, but it would not one bit surprise me if that was the man who did make his way over the line. Che Fiaki out on the right wing and Johnny McNichol at number 15. We got the very attractive hoodie. It is almost Crusaders colours. It wasn't on purpose, I swear. We're being impartial, and actually, to be fair, I've got Hurricane shorts on. You guys can't see them, though. We have got there. Cheers, mate. Thank you. No worries. I want to hear something funny. Yes. Tell me a good joke. Jasmine, let me know. But Hurricanes, Xavier Numia, Raymond Tuputupu, and Tyrell Lomax as the front row. Hugo Plummer and Isaiah Walker-Leawiri in the locking duo. Walker-Leawiri going overseas to Benetton at the end of the season. Brad Shields, Cooper Flanders, and then also Arisi Polico. He is there as the number 8, Cam Roigard, alongside Callum Harkin. This is a dangerous duo, but is it a risky game to be chucking them out there? They can't gain anything in terms of the overall standings. They will stay number 1 no matter what. But if he gets injured here, Cam Roigard, that's a big concern for this Hurricane side. But because he's been injured, he does need some game time going into the playoffs. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword as to whether or not you start him. I would have probably had him make his way off the bench, but we'll see what happens out there on the park. Also in the back line, Kenny Nahola. That man is a freight train that just does not stop. So he will certainly be one to keep an eye on out there on the park. Johnny Rova in the midfield alongside Josh Temu. So no Billy Proctor, no Geordie Barrett. So plenty of changes in that department too. Tiniara Filimoni, I should say, out on the right wing. And then Josh Morby at number 15. No sun in Perth today, brother, says Paul there. And come the Crusaders, they are always around the pointy end of the season and they are looking good. And also we go there, let's go the Canes, there's Galaxy. And I'm worried about them playing Roigard behind a B-grade pack. They will probably go backwards, says Hartley. It will certainly be a good test to see how he goes without that kind of dominance that we've seen from someone like a Peter Lakai, Duplessis Karefi. Oh, there was another question, was there? What will be the final score? So everyone who hasn't already, be sure to chuck in your question, your answer in that regard. Anytime that little timer goes down in the bottom corner, that is when the question has been asked. So be sure to pay attention there, because I almost missed that one. I wasn't watching. We have got there who's on the bench. There's Galaxy. We will show you the benches now, ladies and gents. We'll go like that. There we go. So Letu, Brewis, and Calder as the front rowers. Liam, Jack, and Johnny Lee. And the other forward replacements with Kyle Preston, Taha Kimura, and then also Cooper Roberts as that number 23 for the Hurricanes. Jacob Devery, Pauli Reketi Stones, and Tavita Mafaleo in the front. Tom Allen. Okay, scrap that. Ethan Blackadder is not playing. They've just actually said he was a late exclusion from this lineup, which brings Johnny Lee into the starting lineup. So losing even more experience for the Crusaders in that forward pack. But Pataya's at 20, Phil Ewan, Cashmore, and Balin Sullivan as the number 23. We have there Blackadder is laid out. He is indeed. And looks to be a great front row battle. Licking my lips. It's like you're blushing, says Sophia. I think I turned very red very quickly, as everyone has pretty much established. But yeah, it's also, the pressure of trying to get those questions right. We've currently got 11 taking part, which means you've got an 11th of a chance of winning yourself a Super Rugby scarf, ladies and gents. Anyone who wants to join it now, it's that QR code or the pinned comment in the chat. That will take you on to the quiz. And then you can actually still watch the live stream while doing the quiz as well. It's a little bit fancy the way that it works. It's much above my pay grade, to be honest. But yeah, if you finish at the top of the bunch at the end of the game, you do get yourself the massive, the prize. It could be quite long, the scarf, to be fair. I think they normally do them quite well. Super Rugby. Can we watch the game from the reflection of your sunglasses? Sadly not. They kind of worked that out on YouTube a long time ago that you can't do anything like that, or else you get in trouble. 3312 Trust says, I know, but Nick Berry, he is going to be the man in charge of this one. Hamish isn't blushing, he's just sizzling. A hot on fire commentary. And a Chiefs scarf says, hey, no. Yeah, it's South African shipping too. That'll take a little bit, but the boys said they'd do whatever it took. So if you win it, it'll be yours. But now ready to go for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. They're showing Josh Timu. The thing is, there's a few guys who have been at the Highlanders who are now sitting here in the Hurricanes department. They seem to go around the different sides. But we're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. This game kicking off. Severis in his milestone match in the Hurricanes with an underdog status, even though they're number one on the table. They do kick it off to the Crusaders. Currently in possession here, Cody Taylor with the ball in hand, tackled by his opposite number, Raymond Tupu there. The Hurricanes all day. But yeah, do let me know. Well, I was going to say do let me know your score predictions, but also be sure to put in your score predictions on the Pole Sport app. Sorry, the Next Play app, because then you'll be able to have a chance of winning a prize. That is close to the sideline, wrestled out with some good physicality there from Jamie Hanna. Now around the halfway line, Filimoni to get driven into touch. Just ran out of space a little bit, decided to run it straight at one of the bigger players out there on the field. And can the Blues do worse than fourth? Technically, they can go down to fifth. Oh, there's another question. Will there be a yellow card this half? The question... It's a tricky one, to be fair. As an Hurricane 10 or 15, he can play both. He's got a bit of versatility under the belt, but now Raves Rehana does kick this one up high and sideways. It'll be slapped back by Morby, picked up by Jamie Hanna again, passing off to Johnny McNichol, the double from last week for that man. And there's going to be an early penalty in favour of the Crusaders. Noah Hotham considering taking the tap quickly. It did end up deciding against it. I want Crusaders to win, says Clifford. The thing is, if the Crusaders win, I want them to win by a big margin so that puts a bit more pressure on the Blues because I want to see them do well up against the Chiefs. I feel like we're at the business end. That is a poor kick there. It has gone dead from Raves Rehana. So it does now mean that we will be going right back to where that one was kicked from. There will be a scrum feed here for the Hurricanes. 100-0 for the Crusaders, although with a kick like that, that will certainly be a little bit more challenging to be able to do. And we have got there a rugby player with a doubled up last name is Suspicious, says Jason. So is that Walker Leoweri or Leo Willie in this case? Is that what you'd consider? Two very handy players. Although Walker Leoweri, he's been a bit up and down, hasn't he? He actually had a really solid game last week, though. I think that was the best game I've actually almost ever seen him play for the Hurricanes. But now he's going overseas. But Rob Penny watching on. This will be his last season in charge. Hanson's coming in next year. Not the boy band from the 90s. Now, that one's going to be scrum reset. Were they 90s? I don't know. I tried to make like a cool older generation joke, and I might have got it completely wrong. We have you there, Tupu. Says Jason there. Unless your aim is strong coffee, is your hay fever getting better? I actually think it is. It's been decent since I've moved setups, which is quite nice. I haven't sneezed in a while. They're just showing the keys to the victory for the Hurricanes. I think that it's for these young players to really step up in that regard. You've got guys out there who have had very strong seasons. Is it just my connection? So hopefully it is just yours because I did plug in the Ethernet cable and it seems to be doing the job for now anyway. Now, going off to the right-hand side. Now, Johnny Rova. Going to be nicely taken forward, although David Arveli almost able to get the steal in the breakdown. He had a phenomenal 50-22 last week as well. And I'm from France, Bordeaux. Yeah, Bordeaux doing brilliantly in that Champions Cup final, being able to take down Leinster. We're in their 5th straight final, which is quite incredible. Now running this one for Jamie Hanna, 4 minutes into this contest at the moment. Both sides are trialists for now. Che Fiaki running it down the wing. Oh, he went on the inside to Raves Rayan. He had a Reese with him on the outside. Filimoni has to clean up the ball inside of the end goal area. It's now going to be a goal line dropout. We better win this game. Says, what's up, guys? And ready for the sevens? Yeah, there's going to be plenty of action throughout this weekend. And where are they playing tonight? They are playing in Christchurch. So it's going to be intriguing to see whether or not the undefeated record can continue. Johnny McNichol, flat pass across to Christian Leo Willie. There was that late change that we did see just before the game got underway with Ethan Blackadder being out. Oh, there's another question. Now going up for that ball, Fiaki looks like he has knocked it on, although the referee does say play on there. And why is Love out? I think they're just resting him at this stage. He did seem like he may have hurt his ankle a little bit, which is a bit of a concern. Now, Noah Hotham going forward yet again. And it will go away to Fletcher or Henry Pollock as the next big name in world rugby, says Ruth. That'll fire a few people up. 70-0. Okay, so you've gone down from 100-0 to 70-0 now in terms of your prediction. Now Hotham away to the right-hand side once more. Cody Taylor hits it up. Is that One New Zealand Stadium? Yes, you are correct. In front of the sold-out crowd too. Around, I want to say it's 25,000-30,000. Now going away to the right-hand side. Still moving forward, the Crusaders, and that will be the penalty to the Hurricanes. Oh, look at that. The scoreboard's going now. Elliott is in the front with Haino and Novmum. And the Crusaders will win 27 points to 19. Says Jason. Well, be sure to put your prediction in, because there is one on the app with the pinned comment, or the website, I should say, that you can actually do a prediction. And if you get it right, you get about 5,000 points. For Reese, his 100 match, yes. So it is the milestone game for Super Reese. He did actually have I think it was the boots with the 100 on the front. I believe it was. Now line out throw here for Raymond Tupu. And nicely taken by Isaiah Walker. Leo Wedi away. Cam Roygaard goes to Harkin. Does sink it way downfield. 6.5 minutes gone in this contest already. Neither side have been able to score any points as of yet. Reves Rayana. Oh, he sold Kenny Naholo the wrong way there. Now Hotham back across the left-hand side. Leo Willie moves it on to David Harville. Thought about the Waikato pass with Johnny McNichol. Now McLeod out to Reese, who decides to go for the chip and chase. But back there covering was Roygaard. Got pressure on him. Goes across to Callum Harkin, who does decide he wants to run it out from the own 22. Seems like a pretty open game between these two sides so far. We have got there, Reese will try for sure. I never scan, etc. with all the scams currently doing the rounds. That's fair enough, but at the same time, the four of them are in my lounge at the moment running it through their laptops. So I can tell you this one's legit. They did win a scholarship out of Auckland University, or a grant, to be able to get their app up and running. Nicely taken. Reves Rayhana goes across to Johnny McNichol on the halfway line. Big collision there. It looked like the head of Raymond Tupu getting slammed onto the turf. Yep, Dom Gardner. Looking for a bit of a counter ruck there. Hotham moves it on to David Harville. Gets through the tackle attempt on Josh Temuyo, says Demon the 11th. Welcome in. RC Crusaders not winning the title with the motivation of pennies. Yeah, although without Will Jordan, they feel like a very different team. Oh, no one chasing after that one for the Crusaders after the up and under, but Dallas McLeod gets there first, tries to hold up Callum Harkin. They drive him into touch. It looked like there was a knee down first for Harkin, and he is just questioning Nick Berry there. 10 red HIA here for Reves Rayhana. Someone's called Asafo Moore on it. I assume that's not the Asafo Moore who is on the bench of the Hurricanes. If it was, that would be quite impressive. We see the collision there. I've said there that maybe the ground did not touch, or the turf did not get a knee on it. Score prediction, I'm thinking high scoring, even though we're 8 minutes in and no one has scored a single point. I think that there have been chances when the Stormers announcing their team, probably tomorrow, I'd say. And great to mention this, really well done. Says Haino there. Yeah, it does give that interactive side of the sports. I'm definitely not in the top 3 at the moment. I can say that at the moment, comfortably, that I probably will not be in it for the whole stream. Can you say shout out to Arnold Fatu? Says Fetu there. So shout out to Arnold. Yep. Nice run from Cody Taylor. About 30 metres out from the line. But they're playing tomorrow. Well, then it will probably be sooner, won't it? Normally it's about 24 hours out from the kickoff. Now moving forward, Harville. Oh. Did I get 5,000 points for something? Oh, wait. I just worked out why McLeod's running forward 5 metres out from the line. Now Hotham, away to the left-hand side. Fletcher Null, just 1 metre short. Reese pick and go. He's just half an inch. No, he did get it down in his 100th. Sever Reese. And you actually joined the comp. Says Jason, so the pin comment will take you on. The kind of key that you have to put in is already programmed in. And then from there, you just put in a username and you're in. That's pretty much all that it takes. And as the match wears on, you get more points for different questions. So you're in that scenario how like you will still have a chance. Even if you came in second half, you'd still be able to potentially win. Crusaders have scored. They certainly have. They did get the first try, and it is the Centurion, Sever Reese, who was able... Oh, was he able to score it? I think they're going to have another look at this one to see whether or not he got the... Yeah, I'll give that to him. I think that's on the line just about. It's only brushing it, but yeah, that's, I think, going to be fine for Sever Reese. For that one, the conversion is good, and it does go over, so that will make the score now 7 points to 0. Good start for the Crusaders as well after the Hurricanes had a little bit of the ball. How's it, Hamish? Have an awesome weekend, mate. There's Anthony in there. And what if you win? Then you win a Super Rugby scarf from one of the New Zealand sides that will get shipped to you free of charge, I think. It will be free of charge. We'll just make it that they have to do it. We have there a great start from the Canes, so 37-0. They play for absolutely nothing. Says, yeah, well, the thing is, they can't move. They're stuck. Oh. Okay, that one's gone out. But it has bounced into touch. Crusaders get third spot. There is half a chance. At the end of the day, you could end up in the scenario where, like, if the Blues lose badly to the Chiefs, I think it's they have to lose to the Chiefs by more than 10, and the Brumbies would have to beat Moana by 28 with a bonus point or something like that. Oh, you asked if I'll win? No, I definitely won't win. But that one's going to be a knock on there from the Crusaders. Sitting about 5 metres inside of the 22. Shout out to Mason. And there as well, says Fetu. Currently 12 minutes into this game. It's been a bit of a hectic start. Currently, the way that the standings are, the Crusaders would actually move into third just for now. The Blues would go into fourth. Cam Roygaard back into the side after the injury concerns for that man. He should hopefully be all right for the playoffs as well as for that All Black season. If they lose him, they'll be in a little bit of trouble. Pat Waits at the moment. The Hurricanes have got 924 kgs behind them. Crusaders have got 909. So big, solid kind of size to them. Definitely the Canes back. With the fact that they're missing Larkai, with them missing Duplessis, Karefi now running this one forward. Philemoni, advantage now in favour of Roygaard. Sniping run, gives it off to Shields, who bundles over. And it's another try. But this time, it's one for the Hurricanes. And one more, can you say shout out to Braxton? Shout out to Braxton as well. We can't forget Braxton, of course, but that is a great try from the veteran Shields. Was able to get himself a real solid run next to the breakdown. It was the Roygaard snipe initially that created a little bit of space, lured in two defenders. That was a bit of a poor attempt there from Leo Willie to make a tackle. I do have to say, he kind of just didn't put his arm around the player who he was going to tackle. Looks like Haino and Novmum at the moment are dominating the old scoreboard. Currently 13 minutes through. A bit late, but here Hambone says, Gerald, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Will Warriors beat Panthers on Sunday? That's going to be a really good game, isn't it? Could easily go either way. Hurricanes just scored now, says Galaxy. They did indeed. And that is now going to make the score 7-all between these two sides after only the first 13 minutes. Just seeing that run again. Philemoni initially luring in two. And then just the piercing run from Shields. Carried a couple Crusaders over the line with him. What if you get first equal? That's actually a good question. I don't think they've got that far. So it's either going to be two scarves or there'll be some sort of tiebreaker, I would assume. Now going off to the right-hand side, Philemoni. There's also ones later on, I think, that the closer you get, you'll get more specific points. So the chance of you ending up on the exact same should be very minimal. Now ball's gone backwards for the Hurricanes. Cam Roigard going to be kicking this one downfield. Johnny McNichol does take it well from inside of the 22. Just kick it slightly towards the sideline. Brad Shields, All Blacks bolter. To be fair, I think he'd go all right. The Kiwis for a while haven't been able to find their six. And I know that Shields seems like he's probably over the hill in terms of internationals, but you know, it could happen. Maybe. Che Fiaki with a good run forward before he is dragged down by Josh Morby. Now away to Jamie Hanna. With the steal and the breakdown, it's Hugo Plummer, and he has got the clean steal back on the side of the Hurricanes here. 37-7 is the score prediction. Oh, so is that still the Crusaders, though? You did start with 100-0. Then you went to 70-0. Now you've gone to 37-7. So I feel like they're slowly getting closer in terms of your predictions there. I know how you, says Mohadin. Currently on their 22 line at the moment. And it's been taken back to the 22 by Cam Roigard. It's high. Kininoholo chasing after it. Good take from Johnny McNichol. Canes have to have a disastrous game and cards for for them not to win title, in my opinion. Well, the benefit is they also have the lucky loser situation, which is if they end up winning this game, of course, they're still number one. But if they lose next week, they actually get to play again. Knock on there. This time from Jamie Hanna, 16 minutes in, and it will be the scrum feed. Tell us about your colour hoodie, AB. I'd say it's almost a bit of a maroon, which I guess, you know, they needed a bit of support, the Maroons, after blowing a 20-point lead only a few days ago. But, yeah, makes State of Origin game 2 pretty interesting. Did Quagga Smith fail his steroids test? Not that I knew of. I heard Quagga Smith is out for the rest of the season. That would be injury, though, wouldn't it? Rather than some sort of test like that. A hat-trick for Fiaki, says Ruth. Yeah, we've already seen Sevu Reece get himself the early try in this contest. Also, Brad Shields was able to get himself the one for the Canes. How is Tim? Tim's doing well. He's a busy boy at the moment. Keeping busy doing his studying. So is this over the whole weekend to then restart the next week? No, it's just this game. Believe it or not, 80 minutes time, she's all over Red Rover. And then whoever's at the top does win. But we have got about 4 that they are going to be doing over the weekend, 4 or 5. One of them is also URC tomorrow morning, Connacht in their matchup up against the Glasgow Warriors. So if you're tuning in for that stream as well, you could go home with 3 or 4 scarves, Hano. Although I don't know if it's scarves for those ones. I think there might be different ones. For the URC, could Shields play for New Zealand after playing for England? Is a stand down required? I think he's done his stand down. It's been a wee while since we saw him in England. He did used to play for the Wasps. Nice sniping run from Cam Roigard. Tries a flick pass round the back, but it's going to be knocked on. They'll go back for the penalty. And that is going to be the offside against the Crusaders. So the Hurricanes do actually still get themselves that ball. Your hoodie colour is period red. Hi, Hamish. See, Sock, welcome and hope you're doing well. That's quite the message to start you off. Canes B-side carving up the Crusaders. Says in a light. Well, the thing is, it's referred to as a B-side, right? But in my opinion, any side... Oh, that's kicked dead from Callum Harkins. So not just Reve Rehana doing it, but also we have seen the Hurricanes kicking it dead as well. Second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. And we have got who, says Fetu. I assume you're saying who is in like the Hurricanes and Maroons to win game 2. Well, the thing is, right, any game that's been won over the last 2 years for State of Origin's opener, the team that won it hasn't gone on to win the whole thing. We have got their Fihi Nofo might be out for the season with injury if he's not careful, although he's not playing in this game, which is one big bonus for him. And we have got Quagga Smith have a knee injury and is out for the rest. Jeez, that's a big hit. Just because of what that man's able to do in terms of off the bench or in the starting side. Noah Hotham. Now ready for the scrum. About 40 metres out from their own line here. Does the Hurricanes have a home final or a semi-final? So they'll have the home playoff final next week. If they lose that game, there is a chance they actually have to play away from home. And there's semi-good run from Taha Kimura, who made his way off the bench, tackled by Flanders. Now that is not Devon, that is Cooper. And Cooper, in some regards, NPC-wise, had huge praise for him throughout the season as well. Hurricanes are the best in the world, says Teresa there. And with Will Jordan out, Isaac Hutchison will be the All Blacks fullback, says the Sporting Kiwi. Sporting Kiwi, you are someone who loves a good old prediction. So, pin comment, try and get yourself on this old leaderboard here. Because I think that you're normally not a mile off with some of the predictions, and you might win a Super Rugby scarf, I should say, not a staff. I don't think they'd be happy us giving away Super Rugby staff members on the channel. I think Rasi is resting players this year on purpose. It's all part of the plan for 2027. Oh, nice take there. Cam Roygaard goes away to the left-hand side. Philemoni. That's another penalty. And it's going to be for playing the arm there. It makes sense for Rasi to do that. And also Wellington Hurricanes all day, says Galaxy. And we got there. If you just joined the stream and keen to have some fun while watching the game, head over to the pin comment. And you can play an interactive prediction game called Next Play. That is true. And yeah, that is also what the QR code is down in the bottom corner. And we have anything can happen, Amish, says Galaxy. That is true. These two sides still 7-7 at this point in time. Raves Rehana, it seems like he hasn't he hasn't passed his HIA. Are you doing any commentary this weekend? We are indeed. We are going to be doing the URC quarterfinals. We are going to be doing some more Super Rugby tomorrow. And then also alongside that, we've got the sevens that is also taking place. Now, right-hand side, Sever Reese moving it on to the right. Now, David Havili going for the grubber in behind, waiting for the bounce on the ball. It rolls into touch. Johnny McNichol, he is sure that it touched a Hurricanes player, but the Canes have decided to go quickly, which pretty much tells you it did, because if they take it quick enough, they aren't going to question it. Now, Johnny Rova gets the ball up. He's in that number 12 jersey. He did get a start not too long ago from that inside centre role. Bit of a counter ruck there from the Crusaders. Not going to get the ball back on the home side, although it stays in the back of the breakdown for the for the Hurricanes. Now across to the right again, Xavier Numia. 21 minutes through in this contest. Roygaard just setting his teammate. We have got the, you have rosy cheeks. How much piss do you punish? I've never heard someone use that terminology. But, penalty to the Hurricanes. Been quite weird today, I think. Love you, says Fitu. Is that because I gave you all your shout-outs before? I remember one of the names. I don't remember the other two, unfortunately. 22 minutes in. And another penalty going the way of the Hurricanes after player did leave their feet. It's been the last 5 penalties against the Crusaders. I think we might lose this. The Canes have far too many new players, I think. They've been going all right, to be fair. And I think it's going to sound harsh, but I think the midfield for the Hurricanes and maybe the locking duo could be their downfall here. Why you look very angry on your cheeks? Can you look angry on your cheeks? As in because it's like red? We have got there, Jared Rowlands, are you Welsh? And no, that's Cooper Flanders at 7. It is, yeah. Devon Flanders out, so Cooper's in there as the number 7. Actually, there's 2 new guys, though, in the starting 8. Says Tanner. That is true. I like Poleko, though. I feel like he's got a little bit of something about him, although I haven't actually seen him touch the ball yet. Drop ball from Johnny Rover. That's that midfield. We're resting for knockoffs. Says Levi. Now Shields picks the ball up, offloaded back. There is Poleko with the ball in hand. Here comes Cooper Flanders. Now back across to the left-hand side. Cam Roygaard moves it on. Lomax, good hands to Raymond Tupu. Now Harkin. Is it off to Noah Hotham? Go the Hurricanes, says Jared there. So I walk Leo Whitty. Roygaard. To Josh Morby, he's a long way from the fullback role. He was actually playing as more of a first receiver. Geordie Barrett is sleeping. Well, he's not playing in this game, so he could actually be taking a nap, to be fair to him. He's fresh and ready to go for those playoff games. 10 phases in a row now. Going off to Josh Timu. 11 phases. This is where the Hurricanes can sometimes do that damage when they've just had a little bit of time to set. We're going to find the gap in the opposition defence. Now Johnny Rova passes it across again. Che Fiaki, he's ended up with the ball there. It didn't look like he was completely on the feet. He looked like he may have fallen in the process. But David Havili now, he's got a bit of space to work with. Polico, he's bumped off. Severis on the outside. Hasn't used him yet. Havili cuts back in round arc and he almost fell over. But he keeps his feet underneath him. Offload to Leo Willie. Reese towards the corner. He's going to try and outpace Roygaard. That is a phenomenal team try from the Crusaders. Hotham scores it in the end off the assist of Reese. But that was some classy play from this Crusaders side. There were about 3 times how if the tackle had been completed, it would have been over for them in terms of the play, but they kept the ball alive. And Mr. Whainanuku to make things happen, says Anthony. Is that the actual Safamu on your leaderboard? I don't think so, although he seems to know this Kane side pretty well in terms of some of the predictions that we have seen, but he's not supposed to be playing today, so maybe he's playing on the sideline, got his headphones in trying to win himself a scarf. We have got there, shout out to my cousin Anton Rus in Pretoria. And using the Crusaders, I will ruin 43-10. And what is this? B Squad Hurricanes, this be crazy. Crusaders at full strength? Almost, with the exception of injuries. You know, no Will Jordan, no Whainanuku. I don't think he's injured though. I think they made that change. But now the score will sit 14-7 in favour of this Crusaders team. Second, we go like this. And like that as well. But Reese, he thought that he may have almost had Roygaard on the outside. I'm leading, says Novmum. I did. You were my pick before it started, Novmum. I thought you had a decent crack at getting there. I also said Haino, and he was in the top couple for a while. So when is Hurricanes versus Bordeaux happening? 2028. When the Club World Cup is happening. So, yeah, we'll wait and see whether or not they get matched up or whether they do unfortunately miss out. Ball is still there for the Crusaders. 26 minutes into this first half and Hotham calling his shots. And get players into position. That looked like Don Gardner. Bit of a miscommunication there between the two players. It seemed all. Okay, Lomax also has an injured arm here. Left shoulder. I think it might be. He's hiding in that breakdown. Might have got just a stinger. That one has gone into touch. And also, tried to get to halftime. I only allowed one more try, says Haino. Yes, he being down by 7 up against a side like the Crusaders. Definitely at this ground. Well, to be fair, we saw it go back and forth all over the place not too long ago. I've been critical of Havili the past couple of years. But if he kept this form, he might find a way into Rennie's team, says the Sporting Kiwi. He's looked solid. That 50-22 last week was absolutely massive for him. Having to Reves Rehana, head knock. Unfortunately, took him out of the starting side. So Taha Kimura had made his way on about 10 or 12 minutes in, I believe it was. So pretty early in the contest. Fletcher Null. Hotham just waiting patiently so that Isaiah Walker-Leawiri couldn't quite line him up. Down to the halfway line, stayed back by Sever Reese. Brad Shields now. Having the ball on the halfway line. Hotham or Ratama. I think I'd go Hotham as the secondary at the moment. Little chipping behind from Harkin. Chasing hard was Morby. Almost got the bounce of the ball, but knocks it on in the process. You see him frustrated too, slapping the hands. And hitting himself in the head as well. Your nose is a ringer. I assume that's supposed to be a stinger, right? And we have there, the scoreboard needs to be updated. 1 second. There we go. We got a couple more minutes added to it there. But Morby, had he been able to hold on to that, that could have changed completely. Are you a percentage? Not that I know of. 12 minutes remaining now. It's going to be the scrum feed here for this for this Crusaders team. About 38 metres from their own line. Bulla Bulla says Galaxy. And anyone know if Rehana is injured? Yeah, he is. He got a HIA assessment earlier on and failed it. So he won't be back. Connacht upset today in the URC, been in great form. I'm excited for that game. 6:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's going to be intriguing because Glasgow come in as number 1 seed, but Connacht come in some of the best form that they've had all year. So it could really be a back and forth one. Cody Taylor back round halfway claiming that ball. Johnny McNichol. Now a change of direction for him, trying to move it on. Lined up early by Plummer. France sent a full-strength squad to play the EBs. By the sounds of it, they're not going to. Just because of when that top 14 is finishing. Now pick and go. Fiaki short side. Good low tackle from Tupu Hotham back on the inside to Leo Willie. Oh, that was side entry from Dom Gardner. Right in front of Nick Berry, who said, oh, well, we'll see what happens. Now moving it on. Taha Kimura goes out to Hannah. Took a knee to the head from his teammate Shelthune. 2 men on to Noah Hotham, lightning quick. Now Jamie Hannah taking a little bit longer. Does play it. Hotham staying down. I think that's because he was stuck underneath the breakdown. Oh, okay. Null's now injured with a knee injury here by the looks of it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the scary thing about this time of the year. You see guys dropping off left, right, and centre. Now Chris and Leo Willie moving it on to Taha Kimura. Now McNichol, the big fend there, knock on from Kimura. So now a bit of a counter-attacking chance for the Hurricanes. Flanders plays halfback. Roygaard looking for the cross kick. In fact, no, just goes with a little dink. And this time it's knocked on again by Morby for the second time. Though this time he feels like he was played at. Now we have there Hotham having a good game, says Ruth. He's been quick in those breakdowns, hasn't he? The fun fact, Bordeaux does not make the top 14 playoffs. Louis Biarbiaré could play against New Zealand and France because of the France selection policy. Yeah, there'd be a few guys. Maxime Luku, he could be in the equation. Who else have we got for Bordeaux? They've got Pinot. Pinot would be able to play. A few of those forwards. Cameron Walkie. It'd be a pretty handy player to have on New Zealand soil up against the ABs for the French. Do you think Johnny Thiel will coach Wellington Hurricanes next year? I actually have no idea who they're going to look at as their coaching option, to be honest. Looks like Fletcher Null's knee is down though. Jalabert, well, that will be perfect to go with Maxime Luku in that combination. But he's had 57 matches, Fletcher Null, and this is going to be a bit of a nervous moment here for Crusaders and All Black supporters. So whether that man makes his way back up. Yeah, just showing what is coming up in the future of this round. There's Queensland Reds versus Fiji and Raw. That is later on tonight. We'll be giving a couple updates of that while we're doing the sevens that has taken place. We've got then, in terms of Super Rugby tomorrow, Moana Pacifica versus the Brumbies. There's also going to be Blues versus Chiefs. And then that last game, Western Force versus Waratahs. Now, the top 6 is confirmed, so a couple of those games won't change a huge amount. But it can still change some qualifying positions. And we have got there Mofana and Nicholas, the Portier. Yeah, so I think that for the sake of the French national team, Bordeaux missing out wouldn't be a bad thing, would it? We're going to see the replay here. He just gets his knee kind of twisted with itself, unfortunately. But hopefully, I think he's continuing. Can't afford to be short on props when it comes to South African tour. You're doing URC tonight and tomorrow? Correct. Yep, we're doing every single game of the quarterfinals of the URC. So Lisi RC kicking butt in France. Yeah, they locked him in pretty quick when he was going well. Need a number 8 to score the next one. Says Haino. Now told to use it. Now Kimura. Still moving forward again. They made some good meters at times in this game, the Crusaders. That was a good, solid tackle made on Bauer. Now going back across to the right. It's in the hands of Johnny Lee. Pick and go from Hotham. Quick off the mark. Couldn't quite get through Roygaard. As well as I think Numia was the other man who matched the acceleration of the Crusaders number 9. Dallas McLeod running at Roygaard again. Having to make a lot of tackles at the moment. The last thing that the Hurricanes want is for that man to be injured before the playoff games. Taha Kimura. Good backline movement here from the Crusaders. Offloaded beautifully. And Johnny McNichol slides in. He got it down, I believe. Yes, he does. And the Crusaders get themselves another try. And it is with Johnny McNichol. He's got 3 from 2 at the moment. How's everyone finding the quiz so far? Hopefully everyone has been enjoying it. I'll be honest, I'm terrible at multitasking, as I've now learned. I haven't answered a question since about the 5th minute, but I haven't even seen the scoreboard lately too. I have to keep an eye on the bottom corner. The offload there from Fiaki. Also, I don't think my nose is actually red, it's just the lighting, because I've got a white light here and a white light here. And because of the fact that the white light's all coming onto my forehead and gleaming off beautifully, it means that everything underneath doesn't get lit as well. In other words, I have a big forehead. And it will be named the captain of the All Blacks, in your opinion. I think Savia will end up with it, but there's no guarantee. But now Kimura does add the conversion, so that is now going to make the score 21 points to 7. And g'day, sir, says, cut the stuff, I will call you, rather than the one that you've got. I hope you're doing well. Still leading, says Jasmine. And also Crusaders put in the Hurricanes B-side to the sword. And I wouldn't be surprised, brother. Matter of fact, I think they will. Maybe Ireland and Italy will win also. France into the B-side again. 1 second. We'll go like that. And like that. They're just saying that maybe... They're not sure if that was grounded, but then they've just said it's a try anyway. As it's the final, no. It is the round before the final. How long till half-time? Still another 7 minutes remaining. And this one, why the B team is in for France, it's because of when the top 14 finishes, so it runs a little bit later, which does mean players aren't actually eligible up until the later stages. We have there, the question was, where will the conversion go? Enter the quiz through the pinned comment. Check them out, says White. And there too. I'm not sure how many are taking part in the quiz at the moment. I assume about 15, right? Maybe more. Now chipping behind Callum Harkin. Now, knocked back by the Crusaders. Picked up by Johnny Lee. Flicks it out the right. I did not mean to lock that conversion direction in. And I'm going crazy with 10,000 points. Now, Havili. Kicks it high, chasing after the Severis, not quite able to get it cleanly, but it does still bounce onto the side of the Crusaders. Another big run from Kristen Leo Willie. Home crowd loving this at the moment, a 2-try lead. And up by the 14 points. Hotham trying to get that ball, but Tyrell Lomax, bit of a counter right through the middle. Couldn't get the ball onto his side. Dallas McLeod thought about shaping to kick, but instead he will bump off one. Passes on the outside to Fiaki. It's a foot race. Numia got half a touch on him. And then Morby finished it off. Hotham back across again. Bauer. That's a sore face there for Isaiah Walker. Leo Weddy went into the tackle a little bit too high by the looks of it. Johnny Lee. Josh Timu makes the tackle on him. We need to come for a holiday in South Africa. Hopefully within the next 5 years would be nice. Nice offload from Johnny McNichol out wide. And Christian Leo Willie with a ripped shirt down the back by the looks of it. He has managed to get himself the try. He's doing a bit of a celebration with Reese too. This game's becoming very one-sided, ladies and gents. But the thing is this the way that it was always going to go? Why will New Zealand Rugby be a brunt of France selection again despite policy change? Can you explain? Nah, it's way above my pay grade, to be fair. I haven't read up on it either yet in terms of what's taken place. And we have there, Morby gets some balls, says Ruth. And come on the Canes, let's get it going. Now Noah Hotham. It's just a good solid backline. Reese was the man who was able to break through early on. And yeah, very nice finish. We have there, Crusaders ruthless, says Ruth. It's almost like a pun too with your name, isn't it? That one's missed away to the side for for Taha Kimura. 36 minutes into the contest at the moment, and the scoreline 26 points to 7 in favour of the Crusaders. Crusaders have really started to peak in the last month, would you agree? They now look like the best side this year. Look favourites to me, says Jack. Well, the thing is, this is the perfect game for them to have a good run without Will Jordan. Because early on in the season, no Will Jordan meant no win for this Crusaders team. But they are at least in the scenario now how, this game without Will, the form that Johnny McNichol's in as well has definitely helped them out. But yeah, I'd argue that they are really looking handy at this stage of the comp. And if they're at home next week, Going to be a hard side to get past. According to the advanced and complex mathematical models, Hurricanes should easily win this game. However, there is time still, says Xander. More like the Crusaders of old, got to say, says Muddle Through. Yeah, they're starting to get that dominance at times out there on the field, and that backline's starting to really become crisp. It looks like another change. It's going to be Allen making his way onto the field. That is for Isaiah Wakaliawiri, who did get hit in the head not too long ago. Now he went a little bit too high into the challenge, and I think we're going to see the replay here. Oh, no, it wasn't actually too high. It was just that he collided with his teammate in Poliko. Yes, I kind of predicted exactly this. There's a relatively new Canes squad, says Tanner. Short kickoff there, nicely taken by Christian Leo Willie in the middle of the field. Hotham going away to the right-hand side. The collision there with Seb Calder. He's seen Crusaders' record at home in knockout rugby. It's ridiculous. It is. And even with this new stadium, they are undefeated at this location. They were able to beat... Oh, it's a knock-on from Harkin, unfortunately for him, so it will be another scrum. Oh no, it becomes accidental offside. So the free kick to the Crusaders, they decide to take it quickly. Now going left-hand side once more. But yeah, they beat the Waratahs as their first game at the stadium. Sevu Reece running down the wing, tries the offload on the inside. Timu manages to slap it back for Morby. Where there's a will, there's a way. Says Wafer. And bring the Blues regions back, and we'll see the Crusaders' dominance, says the AI. And the thing is, even if the Crusaders were to lose their playoff game, right? If every other top three side win, if the Crusaders are fourth, they still go through to the semis. So you really have two cracks at trying to knock out one of those top sides if you're sitting in fourth. But you have to rely on one of those top three not losing, or else you get in a bit of trouble. Now, line out here. Do you agree with Jeff Wilson and Mills Maliaina, who have slammed New Zealand Rugby's refusal to fast-track the return of Japan-based stars into the national setup? I think the whole eligibility situation for New Zealand Rugby players overseas is very broken. Like, I understand why they have to play in the NPC or on New Zealand soil first, but if it was up to me, I wouldn't even have it that they had to play NPC. I wouldn't even have it that they had to play any games in New Zealand and that everyone's eligible for the national team. But they don't want to do that. Now Shalfoon, 90 seconds remaining. Hotham, pick and go again round the side of the breakdown. Good solid shot coming in from Allen. Just made his way on. And up the Hurricanes, says Craig. There's our Christian Leo Willie. He's just thrown that ball from his back. Managed to keep the play alive. This is bad for the Hurricanes. Had the Crusaders gone out wide, I think it was on about a 6-on-4 in that scenario. Grubber attempted from McLeod, but it's bounced up into the hands of Philemoni. It looks like Nick Berry's bias continues. Hope we don't get him for the semis. Says Pox White. Is that biased against the Crusaders or the Hurricanes? Out of curiosity. Because I know that the first 5 penalties were all against the Crusaders. So I'd assume you're saying up against the Crusaders, right? But then they're also leading 26-7. Now, it was close. Philemoni, though, he was offside. So the penalty will go the way of the Crusaders again. Looked like they considered taking that one quickly, but didn't quite get to. Bring back Brody, says Wafer. Now a decision to make. They've got 20 seconds remaining on the clock, and they will go for the corner. This one's closer than the kick that they did decide to take late in that game up against the Chiefs. Crusaders always playing a marathon, not a sprint. Says, where are you got? Nick Berry has always been controversial. Yeah, he does get a lot of stick, doesn't he? Nick Berry. Currently 4 seconds remain in the half. The Crusaders are going to be going for the line out from 20 metres out from the line. Good position on the field to try and get something going. Nice take from Christian Leo Willie, the most recent try scorer for this Crusaders team. And this one, it's slowly moving again. It looks like it's Johnny Lee who's ended up one-on-one with Royard. Not that there's been any controversial calls, got to say, says Muddle Through. A couple of Otago players playing for the first time of the season for the Hurricanes. Could have easily made the starting team for the Highlanders, but aren't even in their squad, says the Sporting Kiwi. Yeah, the likes of a Josh Timo and a Philemoni. You know, those guys did all right for the Highlanders at times last year, but like they've hardly had a chance this season. They got to play for like the experimental side of the Hurricanes. And Crusaders all the way from Kugompo City. Hopefully I've said that correctly, Lawrence. Welcome in, another penalty. And again, they will decide to kick this one towards the corner with Taha Kimura. Now, George Bauer. Scoring his 100th game. Severy's also scoring in his 100th game. So, seems to be a bit of a trend. The Springboks losing forward Quaka Smith. Do you believe it will affect the match against the All Blacks? Probably not. I think that they've got enough depth. Don't get me wrong. He'll be one of those players that would have been great to see, but I think they've still got plenty of other guys who have that ability to jackal. But they've lost that ball. The Hurricanes, they'll kick it into touch after the Crusaders unsuccessful with their line-out. And that is now going to make the score after the 40 minutes, 26 points to 7. And we have you there correct, sir. It says Lawrence there. Ames, please stay in tradition. What does tradition mean? Please, what is the temperature at the ground? I think they'll probably be sitting about 10 degrees Celsius, maybe even a little bit warmer. I found last week when we went to the stadium, it was actually much warmer in there than you'd anticipate. You know, cold winter's day almost here in New Zealand, although we're not quite at the winter stage, but we're getting very close. But yeah, probably like 13 degrees or something. They do actually turn on the fans more because of the fire that they let off. And in the second half, it was much colder than the first, purely because of those fans. But yeah, it's actually, you could probably get away with a t-shirt in there. Maybe like you'd be cold while wearing the t-shirt, but you could do it. We have that tradition in Kiwiland to eat hot dogs while watching rugby. The mustard must have been on or must be put on so thick. You give yourself a mustard mustache. Is that a thing? I think that hot dogs here in New Zealand, they're more popular on a stick. And we have got there during halftime. Questions will be worth double points. So if you haven't joined yet, there's still time to jump in and stay in the running for the scarf for your team of choice. Says White and Yaw. So pretty much anyone who is unfamiliar with what that means, it is this little QR code down to the side. There is also the pinned comment. It is to take you over to Next Play, which is like a prediction live situation thing. I haven't answered a question in a wee while. I have fallen behind. I was on 6,000 points for a while, but now I'm like mid-table, I will say. But yeah, be sure to have a few guesses. I see that Haino's at the top of the bunch at the moment. Then it is Vic. Then it is Ant. And then Sajil and also Novma. They are the top at the moment. However, there, no, I'm losing, says Novma. What's the inside scoop with Scott Robinson, or why Scott Robinson got axed? Whispers up here. And Ireland at Leinster are interested, says the Tig. I mean, there are rumours that he could go anywhere. In terms of the Harlequins, we're also intrigued. England seem to have a little bit of interest in Robertson too, but yeah, his record wasn't that bad as an All Blacks coach, but the players didn't seem to like him in terms of the way that he did things. There was the big rebel against him, and yeah, they decided that his win rate, which was pretty solid, wasn't quite enough. But I think a lot of sides would be happy to have him, to be honest. And he'll probably, yeah, he'll probably do all right. We have got there, Nod Mum, from the 1st to 5th. What happened? Says White and Yaw. And also we have there, Haino still in second. Wait, is Haino in second? I thought he was in first. Oh no, Vic's gone ahead of him. Where are you from, Vic? If you are able to write in the messages, I can't quite remember. Are you South African or are you in New Zealand? 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. I should also mention, as we get further on in the quiz too, questions are actually worth a lot more points. So you still have a chance, even if you're just jumping in now, but you do get the choice of the 5 New Zealand Super Rugby teams, a scarf from one of the sides, valued at $30 New Zealand. Who scored, says Mike or Milo. So far, we have seen tries from Sevu Reece, Johnny McNichol, Christian Leo Willie, and then also there was another one for the Crusaders. The Hurricanes, their one try was Brad Shields. I'll just get you the last name in terms of the Crusaders as well. But yeah, anyone who hasn't already, jump on that pin comment, get your predictions in, and walk away with a potential scarf from Super Rugby. Quite nice designs. I'm nowhere near the top. I think I'm 10th at the moment. So that's not ideal. But there's still enough time to get back into it. The other try was also Noah Hotham, who was able to score it. What is the source is elite. Currently having some on my dinner right now, and she's from Australia. Comprehensive coverage as per usual, says CJ. And any idea what the channel of the women's sevens is on now? For us here in New Zealand, it's same as the men's. They have them both on Sky Sport, or normally it's about Sky Sport 2 or 3 because of everything else that's on, or even sometimes Sky Pop-Up, 4 tries versus 1. How? Canes strong second half team. It's just purely because of well, not purely, like the Crusaders have played well, but they are facing a very experimental Hurricane side, whereas the Crusaders have gone a lot more similar to what they'll go with next week. So they seem like they're trying to continue their momentum, whereas the Hurricanes were trying to rest players, and at the moment it's really backfired. I got lucky with the total first half points score prediction. Says Vic, yeah, but you're doing all right. You're in first at the moment. So what country are you from, Vic? Do let me know in terms of where you're living. I feel like the Pole Sport boys, they'll have their fingers crossed that the next play boys, they'll have the fingers crossed that it's New Zealand. But if it's South Africa, they're going to have to ship it anyway. We have got the I ran out of Wattie's tea sauce. We had fish and chips last night. Says Sock. And I'm in 8th place. If anyone who was interested, says White Yor. That's a pretty handsome man. Says Sophia, you're going to make me blush again. Which is not hard to do because that was weird. When I go one way, I look very pale. And then when I lean, all of a sudden I'm pink. Auckland, oh, that'll be easy then. They'll love that. Which side would you pick as your scarf, Vic Mars? Out of curiosity. Would you go for the Blues or would you go for one of these two sides that are taking part in this contest? But the second half is not a mile away. Most metres gained at the moment is Christian Leo Willie. He's also had the most carries out of anyone. And also the most post-contact metres, I believe, is another one. Most clean breaks. That man's been absolutely everywhere. Leo Willie. That was one of the best tries of the season from the Crusaders. That one that Noah Hotham scored. It was just phase after phase, or pass after pass that kept the phase alive. Thank you to Woolies Australia for selling Wattie's tea sauce. $8 a bottle, though, but worth it. Yes, it's probably not terrible, depending on the size of the bottle. Obviously, the Saders for any true Aucklander, says Milo. And bad to the bone, bad to the bone. Have you changed your name to NZ Sports? Have you ever been outside? I was outside today, fun fact. I think, yeah, I was. I went outside a couple times. So I have seen the sun. You just wouldn't think it looking at my paleness and vampire-like kind of tan. We have got there, do you mean a pretty man or handsome man? And that Canes back is really starting to backtrack the further the game goes, says Hartley. They'll be feeling fatigued too because Crusaders have been trying their absolute best to push the tempo. They've had 12 line breaks, 9 offloads. I can say he's been outside. Says Sophia there. Johnny McNichol just about got over for that try. There was half a second where they thought that maybe he didn't get the grounding. That was actually the case for Sever Reese's one as well. And Whitelocks and Sons, tomato chutney thick sauce. Chutney style tomato sauce better than Wattie's. See, I'm not the biggest fan of a chutney, so that might... I like tomato sauce, but I don't like tomatoes. So I think the only reason I like tomato sauce is because of all the sugar that's in it. That might be the deciding factor. There are still a few questions that are actively taking place, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, if you haven't already, be sure to get that prediction in for the next ones that come up. And we have got there, compare it to their sauce, which is $4. Yeah, but I guess to ship it over there probably costs a little bit of coin, doesn't it? McNichols had a good game, by the way. 3 handling errors apiece for both of these sides, which is actually relatively low. Missed tackles, 22 for the Hurricanes. 71% tackle accuracy. And kicks retained, 5 for the Crusaders. Not a single one retained for the Hurricanes. And Saders in a rampaging first half, Sevu in good form as well. You're getting to score in his 100th game. Done very nicely indeed. Canes forwards picking it up. Morby Harkin sorted out. Says Shane, and also nothing beats... what's that? I don't actually know what that means. What about a fish and chips in Britain? Mushy peas, vinegar, and curry sauce on the food? Yeah, see, some people like different sauces with their fish and chips. I haven't tried mushy peas, but I'd imagine that would be an interesting combo. What I should also do, ladies and gents, rather than just talking about the peas, is show you the benches for these two sides as well. Letu off the bench with Finley Brewis and Seb Calder as the front row replacements. Alongside that, there's also going to be Liam Jack, and Johnny Lee did start due to Ethan Blackadder being out relatively late. But I'm not actually too sure who they've got as that number 20 now. Kyle Preston there at 21, Taha Kimura as the 22, and then Cooper Roberts, he slots in as the number 23. Looking through at the Hurricanes bench, Jacob Devery, Pauli Rakiti Stones, and Mafaleo as the front rowers. We've seen Tom Allen make his way onto the field. In fact, that's not Tom, I don't think, but Allen off the bench, and that is going to be for Isaiah Waka-Leawiri. Did take a head knock as well. Pataya is there, Phil Ewan, Cashmore, and Balin Sullivan. If anyone was going to be able to change this game a little bit, probably Sullivan off the bench, but it's going to take a bit more than just one man to help them get back into this contest, because they are sitting currently with a 19-point lead. We have there, not a big fan of the ball, just touching the chalk for me. It needs to be more substantial, says Hartley. And also we have got there Kia ora, Hamish from McCantab, living in York, England. And there as well. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you are enjoying the slightly warmer weather than we've got here at the moment. We have got there during half-time. Questions will be worth double points. So if you've just joined, or if you haven't joined yet, there's still time to jump in. So that is the pinned comment, ladies and gentlemen. There is still a chance of being able to win yourself a Super Rugby scarf of the 5 New Zealand sides. The reason it's the 5 New Zealand sides is it's much easier to get that here rather than the Aussie merchandise as well. But only the Crusaders, they are doing very nicely. Oh, Hotham, that was a great try that they were able to score. I will show you how the playoffs look so far now. Don't take too much notice of the dates. Currently, Hurricanes and Chiefs, they both have the home finals confirmed for the playoffs. The Hurricanes will be playing on the Friday night. The Chiefs, I believe, will be the early game on Saturday. In fact, they may even get to choose when they'd want to play, so I might have to take that back about the Hurricanes for now. But there are 6 sides. They're all confirmed. It's going to be the Reds, the Brumbies, the Crusaders, the Blues, the Hurricanes, and the Chiefs. And those 6 will be going head-to-head. Whoever's the highest-ranked loser, they will go through to the semi-finals to have a redemption opportunity. But if they were one of the top qualifiers, they do also lose that home field advantage of a semi-final. So next week is the one you definitely don't want to lose. But this is also the way that the table sits, ladies and gentlemen. It's close enough. And even to be fair, everyone but Moana Pacifica up until these last couple of weeks has had a decent chance of being able to make the top 8. The top 6. It could easily, though, have, I would say, Crusaders winning this puts them to 3rd. Blues, if they lose to the Chiefs by a big margin, the Brumbies can overtake them. So there's still a little bit that can happen. The Reds, if they win their game, they can get the overtake as well. Or they can overtake the Brumbies. There's going to be probably a little bit of reshuffling. In the top 8, I'm worried about the Stormers, says Rishi there. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Oh, sorry, that was actually from Mohardin. My apologies. But, yeah, I don't know. Stormers not having Sasha, that changes their game completely. Although they are still on home soil, so that is a massive bonus. All of the sides at home in the URC playoffs are considered as very likely to win. We have there, you're not wrong, Vic. I'm a Chiefs supporter, but I don't want biased commentary. That's why I can't watch the Warriors commentators. They're just cheerleaders, says the Sporting Kiwi. And also we've got there Sevu sticking his hand up for Dave Rennie. Says Gus, yeah, although he's going overseas. Although there are the rumours that Rennie may still end up selecting those guys who are going overseas. There's a lot of question marks around what is going to be happening. Okay, why a scarf? Why not a jersey? We've got to start small. Because at the same time, it is still very early in their trial run. Because, of course, I'm not a part of the organisation. I'm just the chatter in terms of the middleman. But it's still early on, so they want to make sure it's running smoothly before they go too crazy with big prizes. Just because, mistakes can happen. There'll be little things that maybe could go wrong. But for now, it seems like it is running relatively smoothly. So fingers crossed that's the same in the second half. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Going to it, says Haino. We might be offering a jersey as a prize on the Chiefs vs Blues game. Says White and Yor. And should Tom Latham keep a spot on the Black Caps? Depends who you talk to. He's got that experience, but across different formats, I'd say test-wise, I'd still probably keep him in there. But Yeah, short format. It's a tricky one. With Latham, we have got there Rini select Fihi Fini Arnofo. Said Johnny Blaze there. What's wrong with Sasha other than his mostly useless place kicking? Apparently he's sick at the moment. So he might be missing from that playoff game. But the second half of this contest is just about to get underway. Second, we'll go like this. And like that as well. But now, Geordie Phil Ewan, he's made his way on. So they have decided to make that early change of Roy Guard. And I'm more worried for the Lions, says Absolute Sports. Yeah, that's going to be a tough game up against a Leinster side that are hurting. After that final, we have got the donation from Katsanel. I didn't think about this. Donations will go right above the QR code, won't they? I have to think about that. Good evening. I still can't believe New South Wales won. Yeah, the fact that they somehow came back in that game after being down by 20 was just very weird. I'm beating you by 110 points, Hamish, but we're both pretty trash. Yeah, I haven't answered a question since about the 5th minute of the stream, which is my bad. There's a bit of smoke around at the moment for the second half as it does get underway. I was not lost for these, those getting offshore. Slim chance, says Gus. Canes 1 try and Crusaders 4 again, please. Now going back into the pocket. No, in fact, Geordie Phil Ewan is going to go for the box kick. Fiaki slapping it backwards, but it's picked up clean by the Canes. Now, to the 40 metres out from the line. Cross Raymond Tupu goes to Josh Timu. Man who has represented the Highlanders in the past, but unfortunately for the Hurricanes, he just hasn't really found any sort of chance. Bit of a slip there for Philemoni. In fact, he's knocked the ball on too, so it will be the scrum feed now for the Crusaders. Hurricanes coming back. Sayers Hardy there. And Lions form has dropped suddenly now that it matters, but Leinster losing the Champions Cup final could dent their confidence perhaps. It'll do one or two things, won't it? It will either dent their confidence or it will fire them up to that next level. And, you know, if we see them fire to that next level, they will be hard to beat this URC campaign. But if they struggle and they slip up against the Lions, the competition's just, it's going to be wide open. Haters will hate. Sasha is so good. Talented. Rasi wouldn't choose him if he wasn't a team player. Don't fit in with the bot culture like Evan Russ. Says Absolute. Crusaders will win Super Rugby. Leinster will win URC. Nothing new. Says Ben. So who's your top 14 winner in that case? And now Noah Hotham puts the ball into the scrum here. Crusaders still up by the 3 tries, 2 of which have been converted, and that's another knock on. They're in contact for David Havili. Now going away to the left-hand side. Pori Rekati Stones. He's made his way on for Xavier Numias. So they're saving a few guys along the way. Now moving on to the right-hand side. Nice take there from Raymond Tupu. Big collision with Severis. Looked a little bit up around the chest. To lose the win, says Demon. And head back over to the game. And now that halftime is over. If you know, check the pinned comment for the link. It was moving there again for a second. I keep forgetting to look at it. I'm terrible at multitasking, it would seem. Can't put Hamish 10 on the Stormers. Yeah, I don't think they'll want me at the 10 unless they want to lose that game up against Cardiff like they did a couple of weeks ago. And Sasha's been off in the last month. There's definitely 11th. Rob Penny looks pretty sad at the moment. He just saw that the camera was looking at him, so he decided rather than sitting there in the coaching box like this, he would sit up straight and look slightly more intrigued. So did Rob Penny get sacked? I don't actually know if he got sacked or whether it was just mutual that they decided not to continue on. I think his contract may have just ended, if that makes sense. But then does that count as a sacking or does that just count as, mutual dismissal? I'm not really too sure. Otham told to use, goes back to Taha Kimura. He's actually had a good game off the bench and he's almost got a 50-22 here. In fact, he does. Brilliant kick from the replacement 10. And come on, the Crusaders finish strong. There's Lawrence there. But that scrum was in the perfect position to be able to go for that 50-22. And all this 8 mentality from certain South Africans is laughable. The moment on critics, their little idols play the Marty card. I don't know what that is. Does Sasha not been good this season? Pollard and Smith better. Says Ben. Most people on here don't even watch the URC, but if they're watching it tomorrow morning, they will have a chance to win something in terms of URC merchandise. In terms of the quiz side of things as well. 9 visits to the opponents, 22 for the Crusaders, and this is another one. Now David Havili sitting 10 metres out. How Cloud's got inside the stadium. It's smoke from the half-time thing. They didn't have that the last time round. Last week for the game between the Chiefs and the Crusaders, so someone's obviously turned it on a little bit too much. There is a forward pass from the Crusaders just out from the Canes line. Now scrum feed for the Hurricanes. I'm going to a wedding. Is it your own, Kyle, or is it someone else's? Who's got the ball currently? Hurricanes have got themselves the scrum feed. It's almost eerie the way that the smoke is just sitting there. I think that's because the fans on the top push it down, but obviously there's enough air coming up from underneath that it's just kind of letting it sit there. Who's in the playoffs, says cross-boarding. So currently the 6 teams confirmed: Hurricanes, Crusaders, Blues, Chiefs, Reds, Brumbies. Those are the 6. If you're talking about the URC playoffs, then it is Connacht versus Glasgow, Bulls versus Munster, Stormers versus Cardiff, and also Leinster versus Lions. Now, ready to put this ball in for Geordie Filio and come on the Canes. And another penalty, this time awarded to this Hurricanes replacement front row. It seemed like a bit too easy to win that scrum penalty for the Hurricanes. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There was fire earlier on when they have the machines that blow it upwards. And Hotham getting the better of Royard so far, says Gus Town. And Hurricanes versus Bordeaux, who is winning. Depends on where the game's played. That's the one that everyone's obsessed with at the moment, isn't it? But in reality, if it's played in France, Bordeaux win it. If it's played in New Zealand, Hurricanes probably win it. But on neutral turf, that's where you've got to play that one. David Havili, he's been taken off. So the Crusaders deciding that they've got enough of a lead here that they can afford to take away a few of their key players for next week. Great work from McLeod managing to rip that ball away. Cody Taylor went for a kick in behind. We see why that doesn't happen too often. It was charged down, but the ball back on the side of the Crusaders. Offload for Christian Leo Willie, who's now wearing 25 after his jersey got ripped in the first half. Now McLeod, about halfway line. Kyle Preston crossed to the left. Again to Christian Leo Willie. How many points are you on? I think I had like 6,000. But I haven't answered a question since, I think, about the fourth one. Oh, no, I'm on 7,000. I must have got 1,000 points for something else. Yeah, I haven't answered a question for a good, like, probably 50 minutes or so, which is not ideal. It makes it very hard to win. But I see that the points are climbing big time. There's a lot of people close at the top. We have Blitzbox winning Valladolid. Do they claim 7th championship title? Pretty much, unless they absolutely butcher the third leg. That would be the way that it can change. This one's kicked in behind, nicely taken by Taha Kimura. Kenny Naholo. I've hardly said that man's name today. I don't think he's had the ball for the Hurricanes. It just hasn't really gone out to him. Philemoni's had a little bit more of it. I think that wing is the one where the Canes have been able to use the ball slightly more. Now Severis cutting back in off the step. Now Johnny McNichol, short ball to gun. As he charges forward, the big man moves up to around 30 metres out, went for the offload, but Morby was ready to be able to take it. And got the ball back on the side of the Hurricanes again. Now awkward bouncing ball. Jay Fiaki runs it back to the halfway line. He's got Jamie Hanna this time on his outside. Doesn't use him. Now Preston. Cross to the left-hand side once more. Short ball to Bauer. And Otham had the better pick. Or has been better. Because his pack is going forward simple, says Hartley. Yeah, it is very easy to look strong in front of a good pack. It is very hard to look good in front of a pack that has been getting dominated at times throughout a game. And Roygaard, to his credit, has still had a few nice little sniping runs along the way. And next question is worth 5,000 points. That's quite a few. I might have to get in there because I'm way behind. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go. Will the Crusaders score on this drive? We'll go, hang on. Ball's there, Jay Fiaki. Another carry forward. Oh, my answer's locked in. I was going to go with no. I should have gone with no, because then I could have got more points. Now, Preston, way to the right-hand side. Skip pass out to Johnny McNichol. Now goes across to Jamie Hanna. This is good phase play at the moment for the Crusaders. Looking for the steal on the breakdown was Devery. Has he got it cleanly? Yes, he has. Now Phil Ewan goes to Harkin. Offload there again. Geordie Phil Ewan has his hand grabbed by Johnny Lee, who was looking to take it with him. And now a chance for the turnover. Crusaders get the possession back. 30 minutes remaining. They still lead 26-7. This one hasn't really gone anywhere in terms of the scoreline for the second half. But now the chance. Big break of the line from Cooper Roberts, the youngster. Not long ago was in that under-20 setup. That was almost a knock-on from Shelfoon. But Reese gets it now. Cody Taylor tackled on the halfway line by Tavita Mafileo. Hurricanes, real loose forward trio, having a rest will do wonders for the quarters. Maybe. It's one of those double-edged swords, though, like we mentioned earlier on. It's good that they get a rest, but also going into the next game, you have that in the back of your mind that your side lost by a massive margin the week prior. So do you play a little bit of a different game plan? Or do you go slightly... I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think that they just have to switch this game out of the mindset and just go, no matter what happens, we're still strong next week. And they were on a good winning streak heading into this one. Geordie Phil Ewan from inside of the 22. Let's get that ball and a touch. Oh, the Canes play into the quarterfinal. More than likely, they'll be playing, I would say, the Reds will win, though. They might play the Blue? No. The Brumbies may... Oh, it's hard. It's actually really difficult to work it out. Second, I'm going to... Oh, no, it's not a question at the moment. We over the Chasers absolutely hates New Zealand, says the Sporting Kiwi. And next question on next player, who will commit the next penalty, head over and score points to win a prize, says White Ewer. I have to say, you're doing a much better job of promoting it than me. I do apologise. This has been a fast-paced game. There's all sorts going on. But we've actually got a bit of a stoppage here. Cooper Roberts. He's out there on the field getting the opportunity. Only, like I said, recently was in that under-20 setup. Cody Taylor also taken off. Balin Sullivan is now on the field too. And Hurricanes are just going through the motions. Already have top spot, actually a waste of time. I guess those who haven't had much game time get a run. Good to see Lomax back, says Puri. And also getting to see Cam Roigard. Bit of a run around before heading into those playoff games. The Hurricanes, again, they could lose this game and they could lose their next one. They're still in the semi-finals. That is the bonus of being number one spot. If the Canes lose, are they out? No. So if they lost their game next week in the playoff, they would then still get through as the lucky loser, as it's called. It's a bit of a interesting terminology, but pretty much you still get a lifeline. Whoever's the highest ranked loser at the time. And we have there is the ball. Currently, Crusaders have got this ball about 14 metres out from the try line. Kyle Preston moving away to the left. Now, Preston almost getting played by Poldi Raketi Stones. Currently, another 28 minutes remaining. Preston should be able to bring a bit more impact too. Oh, that's a big shot on Cooper Roberts. Moving away to the right-hand side. Now flick pass out the back. Antonio Shalfoon cutting back inwards. He tries the pass to Jay Fiaki. Keeps the ball alive. Another drop ball from Johnny Rova. I can't think of too many times that man has caught the ball today, unfortunately. Letu getting the turnover in the breakdown. Preston fights for the ball and also tries to fend off Geordie Phil Ewan. Now Fiaki goes to McNichol. Moving across again, Cooper Roberts to Taha Kimura. Now McLeod out to Reese. He's already got himself one. And he get the double. Balin Sullivan missing the tackle. Shields getting bumped off too. And we have the Hurricanes getting spanked, says Cyrus. It's definitely not the scoreline they were hoping for here. But it's definitely a learning experience for some of these young players. That's beautifully done by Geordie Phil-Ewan, just stripping the ball off the Crusaders, but then the ball getting kicked back downfield. Straight back in the hands of the Crusaders. Now, 25 metres out. Hamish will get a letter from my lawyer. How come? Mohadeen, you said I'm your inspiration about half a minute ago. Is it like inspiration to sue people? But now, Kyle Preston, that's forward from the Crusaders. I'll go back now for another scrum. There's been a few scrums in this matchup at this point in time. Some very impressive offloading. One of them was Cooper Roberts managing to get that flick pass away after having two men making the tackle on him. If the Chiefs will beat the Canes in the final, or I think the Chiefs will beat the Canes in the final, is Demon the 11th comment. Let's face it, this is the Canes B team, nothing more. The Crusaders should be dominant, says Hartley, and they certainly have been. I think that there have been a few guys stepping up for the Hurricanes in this matchup, which of course is what you want to see, those guys who haven't had a lot of game time, proving that maybe they should be in the running for those upcoming ones. Patai has made his way onto the field now for Brad Shields. That's a big change. In fact, I don't actually know who would be captain now. Probably, no, Roygaard's already off. Who would be your captain in this case? With Shields off, Roygaard's off. Lomax, I think, is off as well. You're probably looking at maybe Josh Morby? Or Naholo or someone along those lines. One's going to be put into touch. On the next play prediction game, you can check your past predictions and see what ones are still pending, says White. And Morby says cross for who would be the captain. Like they're saying there, not too many changes still remaining. Now thrown in by Letiu, taken by Leo Willie Preston. Back across to the left. Moving the ball on towards our halfway line. No one has scored a single point throughout the second half. Oh, that was a risky pass, and Geordie Phil-Ewan all but managed to claim it. It just seems to be that half by unlucky moment where they haven't been able to gather the ball as smoothly as they would have liked. Are you going to watch some FIFA World Cup next month? I'm hoping to, but it is going to be a tricky one with some of the overlaps, but I'll be trying my best to balance it a little bit. One's going to be kicked downfield from Kyle Preston. And that one's gone back off goal. Dallas McLeod offload on the outside to Che Fiaki running down the wing, and the ball just dropped by McLeod on the inside ball. Did say 33-12. Are not far off right now, says Haino. Definitely with the lack of tries in the second half, but now big fem from Timu. I say Timu because of the company, but it is Timu with the I rather than the E. Now Mafaleo by Letu. A little bit of wrestling going on past the ball there. Now Phil-Ewan short side, and the ball's been dropped again by the Canes. Sever Reese decides that he wants to take this one quickly, but Nick Berry calls them back. Jason Hamilton is in third place with 22,400 points. Well done, mate. Says White Newer. So a bit of a comeback there. As I think, Jason, you started a little bit later, didn't you? But you're flying up the rankings now. I'll have a quick look and see what I can see. I haven't answered many questions. I'm still 11th. I'll take 11th. 1 second. I have to try and scroll back up to the top. Tell you what, Vic and Haino are like neck and neck here. And then now Jason's right back in the hunt. Novmum's still close enough. Adam's still in it. Ant's there. This could be quite a close finish. This game won't be, by the way. If the Crusaders keep on playing the way that they have and the Hurricanes can't find some sort of momentum, they could be in a bit of trouble. Jaden Phil-Ewan? No, Geordie Phil-Ewan, I believe. Is his first name Geordie? I can't remember now, but not the same under-20 guy. We have it there. Well, how about that? The Crusaders coming from the rear to dismantle the Blues. The Chiefs and the Hurricanes, there's Roy. Now moving away to the left-hand side. Now Harkin. Almost held up by Dallas McLeod. Much needed position here for the Canes. Offload to Geordie Phil Ewan, and he is absolutely flying now. Open space. Going to go with the big wide cutout pass. Kenny Naholo taps him forward off his boot, and he's almost tackled Taha Kimura a little bit high there. A great minds think alike. Says Ano. And then I said 36-12. I must think alike. Geez, so you guys might get the same points roughly for your predictions, depending on what it ends up being. 22 minutes now remaining here. Tied by Preston. And for this one to come down, Harkin ran onto it, but again, it's another knock on from this Hurricane side. They have been very much so struggling in that department. What happened at the end of that play? That last one was just a knock on. Oh no, they just lost the ball. But back in the hands of the Canes now. Currently 43 metres out from the line with the ball in hand. Hugo Plummer got the start here. Big opportunity for him. Though we will get to see Warner Dearns back in those playoff games. He has been one of the standouts in Super Rugby. Penalty awarded to the Hurricanes. Should get them back inside of the half. We over there, Saders. Here's Moa. That is against Letiu for not releasing Harkin. Does kick that one into touchdown, almost towards the 22. It was a good strike of the ball from Harkin there. Mr. Marshall has just said that the Hurricanes are not out of this game as long as they just get a little bit of rhythm going. Holdy Rackety Stones. Chance here for the line out. And oh, Mum, what's happening? She did start off with a hiss and a roar, didn't she? And the ball taken back by the Crusaders. Kyle Preston. Moving it on to the right-hand side. Che Fiaki. Broken. Oh, no. Timu just got the ankle. It's got a little bit scrappy now for the Crusaders. They haven't quite been as smooth with their backline. Huddy, someone got punched, says Demon. They did it. That we know of anyway. Now Leo Willie breaking gets the offload to Gardner, who's made a huge amount of meters so far, but he's just offloaded the ball straight into Devery's hands. That looked a bit high from Tahakimura, but they're going to put the man into touch. And it looks like the Crusaders will have themselves the line out. You look like you're blushing again. I do look, well, that depends on the lighting. I think it's not going to change the lighting now. It's just going to stay as, I look very pale at times, but there's a bit of colour in the cheeks. But now, sitting there with 19 minutes remaining. I missed another pulse. Every time I look down, I miss it. Now, line out here. Now going right. Oh, bounce ball again from the Crusaders. Just not quite how they want it to be. What's your favourite rugby competition commentator on? I actually like all of them, to be fair. I love the sevens, how quick-paced it is. We're doing quite a bit of that throughout the weekend. I think our last 7 stream is going to be 3 a.m. in the morning, or roughly around there. Crusaders on the charts. There's Flesh in there too. The ball's going to go high from Kyle Preston. Go like that. And I like that as well. Now break of the line here for the Crusaders. Cooper Roberts. He's had some great offloads already. There's another one. Just short of the try line. About 3 metres out. Pick and go. And Cahill will get within half an inch. In fact, no, sorry. That would have been Liam Jack. The replacement now getting very close once more. If they score now, this is game over. And that's over. The line between the posts. The try is scored by Letiu. And he, I tell you what, he fired up. I know that his side are leading by a massive margin, but I think that try means that little bit more to him. It might be his first for the Crusaders. Yeah, first of his career, so no wonder he was fired up for being able to score it. 17 and a half minutes remaining in this one now is done and dusted in terms of the scoreline. We have the enjoyed the State of Origin Game 1 Queensland stuff. That up big time, says Devon. Yeah, I couldn't believe the way that the score was just changing in that second half. But the red card hurt a little bit. Well, it hurt a lot, let's be honest. Kalen Ponga going off the field was the worst thing possible for the State of Origin Queensland side. And then the Blues, who had all the handling errors, just butchered it well and truly. Crusaders youngsters carving up the Canes. The thing didn't process my pick. There's going to be controversy at the top of the bunch. Vic got a big boost. Vic's math. How many points did Vic get in the last little while? Mum Creek's in the second place with 30,500. It's still going to be close. I don't know how much the last kind of, I'd say, 10 minutes is worth. But it could be still worth about, I don't know what it would be, 20,000 points, somewhere around there. I don't even review this week. Get ready for the real work, says Shane. And there in terms of I guess that's the Hurricanes. They can look at this game and go, right, boys, we gave you a chance. You did all right at times, but then you also did butcher it. But you weren't expected to win it. Currently 33 points to 7 now. I'm sweating, says Vic. It would be hard being in number one spot, I'll be honest, because I got the first question wrong, so straight away, it meant that I knew I wasn't winning. Vic didn't like the last 4 seconds my Wi-Fi must have played about. Says Hano. Jacob Devery now. Ready for this line out. It will be about 35 meters out from the Crusaders line. The Hurricanes just need something. It would look good to get at least a bonus point from this game, but that'd have to be within 7. So that would be a strong finish, a final 15-minute burst. I'm having a personal race with Hano by the looks of it. So here's Jason. Yeah, well, you and Novmum are 600 points apart at the moment. So, yeah, it could go either way. But, yeah, who should be most nervous is definitely Vic, because it can all change in one question. Now, Timu, tackled by Reese. Geordie Phil-Ewan moving it back away to the right-hand side. Pushing it across. Balin Sullivan can't get through. Gardner would have to be close to the man of the match, wouldn't he? Who scored the Crusaders' latest try? Says Milo. It was Letu, his first ever try of his career for the Crusaders. The replacement hooker. Now charging forward again. Geordie Phil-Ewan. Cross to Johnny Rover. Plummer hits it up. Looks like he's going to have to play the full 80 minutes. Good backline movement there. Harkin just slaps it on to Philemoni out to now Cooper Flanders. I think we've seen anywhere near enough of that, man. And that's some nice work it looked like in the breakdown. But Cooper Roberts going to be penalised for not coming in through the back. Now Che Fiaki tackling. Geordie Phil-Ewan throws him into touch. Just didn't quite have the size required. Well, there's a confidence zone thing. How many passes? Tell you what, we'll just go with that one. Locked it. Wait, that was way too low. I'll probably lose that question, I would say. To be fair, I'm choking. I choked by saying there won't be any points before the 65th minute. And also we have it there. What do you think of the State of Origin coming to New Zealand next year? I'm curious to see how it goes, but I like the fact that there's going to be one neutral ground. Just because I feel like that makes it so much better in terms of, one home game each rather than 2 for one team, even though the sides who have been at home at times have been struggling. Another box kick downfield from the Crusaders. Now Cashmore to Callum Harkin. It's back across to the right. Big, wide, cut-out pass to Josh Timu. Started getting a bit more at the ball, but tell you what, this Cooper Roberts has been having quite the start his Crusaders career. Only made his way off the bench about 15 minutes ago. We've seen him, I would say, about 10 times, and he's been heavily involved in important moments for this Crusaders team. Phil-Ewan moves it on to Johnny Rover. Now Harkin, there's just no go forward, unfortunately, for the Crusaders here. Still inside of their own half. Pretty good move by the Canes, resting their players. Maybe a master stroke, says Hartley. Yeah, we'll wait and see whether or not it does hurt them. The thing is, though, even if they struggle next week, they are still through to the semis no matter what. So it can't really hurt them the biggest amount. Like, the worst thing is if they went into their semi and then lost it. But then that's just playoff rugby at its finest. Portirakiti Stones. Now across to the right again. Timu. Waiting for it out on the wing. Cooper Flanders cuts back in. And a good low tackle made on him by yet again Cooper Roberts. Now moving it across to the left-hand side. Advantage being played in favour of the Hurricanes. Now Phil Ewan moves it on. Cooper Flanders to Harkin. Now Devery. Cross again to Balin Sullivan. Starting to move forward, but it's taken a little while. 13 phases. Nick Berry says you haven't gone forward enough. That is going to be the 25-metre penalty out. I have the 41-16 score prediction, says Jason. I don't actually remember what mine was. What was my score prediction? Mine was... I went 42-24 in favour of the Crusaders. So I may have overestimated this Hurricane side a little bit here in the contest. Youngsters have lots of energy to burn. Says Willow. Yeah, well, they've burned a lot of calories out there today because they have had to run all over the place, this Hurricanes young pack. And also, we have got ABs versus Uruguay is up soon, says Jasmine. And yeah, our first 7 streamer is going to be Australia versus Kenya. That one taking place at around 10 p.m. New Zealand time. In about an hour and a half, but now Devery. Told to use it once. It's the tap on the back from Geordie Phil Ewan, who tells him to break away, but they didn't have any cover in the breakdown, and it almost resulted in the Crusaders taking the position back to Vita Mafileo, driven sideways. The thing is, it's still been a very solid Crusaders defensive effort in this contest. I think they had about 78% tackle percentage in the first half, which is a little bit low by the standards that they'd normally like to have, but they haven't missed too many in the second half, making it very difficult to make any sort of decent meterage. Now, Johnny Rova. Again, another tackle. Moving it across to the left-hand side. Geordie Phil Ewan. Pick and go again from Tavita Mafileo. Getting closer this time. Now, Allen. Another penalty advantage. Going against the Hurricanes. Going against the Crusaders. Now, Portirakiti Stones. He's over. And they get their second try of the contest, the Hurricanes. As Portirakiti Stones, it's been a good day to be a replacement front rower when it comes to the points. Man does not score too many throughout his career. He's only had 3. That's the first of the season. And now, just see that pick and go. Kept the body position low and just drove on over. And Johnny Rova has given more ball to the Crusaders than the Canes, or then to the Canes. Needs to sort those hands out. Yeah, he's had a real struggle in that number 12 jersey. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, Geordie Barrett, he takes a lot of stick from the supporters, but most of the time he's pretty handy with his hands. He'll catch the ball under the high ball if needed. And that's something that as a 12 you really do need in your skill set. Something that Johnny Rova hasn't really been able to do today. Or the last game that he started either, I believe he struggled with it. And Bullabro says Asala. And there as well. So it is now 33 points to 14. The kick has gone over with 9 minutes remaining. One second, we'll go like that. And like that as well. Boosie saying no because he got it over. And Hurricanes have gave up at half time. And what are the South African times for the South African games this weekend? So the first one will be taking place at 1 p.m. South African time on Saturday. And then the one after that will be, no look past there. Let's go into Sevu Reese's hands eventually. The next one after that will be taking place at 3:30 p.m. 8 minutes remaining. Kyle Preston back into the pocket to Kimura. Just looking for the 50-22 or at least a bit more. In terms of the territory, Lucas Cashmore. Pops that ball into touch. Crusaders all the way, says Asala there. Yeah, there is technically still time for the Hurricanes to be able to get themselves 1 or 2 tries late. Get that bonus point for being within 7, score 2 or nothing, Crusaders. Says Haino. A nice duck again there. Kyle Preston going away to the right-hand side. Now Kimura. Told to release. A 1 then 338, same as says cool story. Yeah, hopefully I got my conversions right there. Johnny McNichol breaks the line. Ball on the inside to Kyle Preston. And they'll get another one. The Crusaders, they just needed the Hurricanes to score one before they were allowed over again. But it is Kyle Preston, the sniping run. It's also been a good day at the office for the the Crusaders halfbacks throughout this matchup. And also, we have there, Jinx at my bad, says Sock. I'm just going to quickly have a look as well at the leaderboard, because surely there's some stuff moving. Novmum's in second, Jason's just behind, and Vic is at the moment leading. It could come down to that score prediction at the end of the day. All I'm going to say, Sajil has done extremely well. And I think I just mispronounced his name a little bit. Sajil, I should say. Because that man, he does not watch rugby. Not that I know of anyway. And he is somehow pushing fourth, which is thoroughly impressive. So a big well done to him. But currently 6.5 minutes remaining here. Please, no more questions, says Vic Mars. You'll also be hoping for no more points. I think you and Haino were very similar in your score prediction for the points-wise, though the points is worth 5,000. That can be a big boost at the end. It's a good finish there from Kyle Preston. And the celebrations from Letiu again, but currently 6 minutes remaining. You're not looking like a huge buff-shouldered British lad anymore at this resolution. Yeah, when I was pixelated, people said that it looked like I actually went to the gym, which was quite nice. Now they say, no, that must not have been you. Very diplomatic of you. There's no way, Canes. We're going to get a bonus point even before that last try, says Mark. Yeah, definitely with that last one of the Crusaders, it's hurt. Oh, they've just added a bonus question. And it's going to be, what's the score going to be at the end of full time? And if you get it right, you get 15,000 points. So that will completely change the game, I would think. So you get another crack at it now. Cooper Roberts goes on the outside to Che Fiaki. He goes for the chip of mine. Johnny McNichol, winner the foot race, manages to claim that ball nicely. Geordie Phil Ewan almost managed to get his hands on it in the breakdown, but Fiaki played half. I'm still sitting down there in 11. Me and Elliot, we're about the same. I don't even know if Elliot's still answering the questions, but we're in the same wavelength at the moment. Flick pass round the back. That was silly from Johnny McNichol. He tried to go for the shiny finish rather than just going for a simple draw and pass. And it's cost his side the try. You can see his almost embarrassment on the face from the way that he's tried that. And we have got there what's going on here with the Crusaders. This far ahead. I've got 47-14. Says Vic. Team will get inside their opposition 22 next. It's worth 10,000. We'll go with the one that everyone's picking so that I can actually get some points. Seeing as I'm sitting quite far down. And where have they been? I didn't even think they qualified. Where do we finish at the end of the season? Before we got Nick buried. Says Pox. Where have they... Which team? The Crusaders or the Hurricanes? But now let's you. 4 minutes left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Now nicely taken by Antonio Chalfoun. Plummer got in there nice and early, but they are going to break away. Tackle made. Devery told to get out of it. Didn't really listen to Nick Berry. Rush defence from Geordie Phil Ewan. Letiu couldn't quite get his pass away. You never discount the Crusaders. And come on, the Crusaders score one more. Ball stolen in the breakdown. Pody Dakity Stones. Now away to the right again. Johnny Rover moving the ball on. Balin Sullivan. Now pops it up. Oh, interception. And Severy scores the try for the Crusaders. His double in the Centurion game. That makes it 45-14. Scoreline still increasing that little bit more with 3 minutes left. The crowd, they will be believing there could be a half century here. Please, no more points and no more questions. You man of the match? I think I'll give it to Dom Gardner. I don't know whether or not anyone else would, but I think that Gardner's been the quiet worker for this Crusader side. Christian Leo Willie also had some phenomenal stats throughout that first half, but Yet Garner's thoroughly impressed me throughout this contest. And we talk about that number 6 jersey all the time for the All Blacks in terms of if it's still open. And could you find a way for Gardner to get in there? Well done, Vic. Islander scarf is on its way, says Jason there. Did he score around the post? No, it's out near the corner. And great move of the Crusaders, says Willow there too. Oh, it's Sever Reese in its 100th game. Now, anyone who keeps an eye on social media will know this man lined up a kick from 55 metres out. Tell you what, he's got it over, Sever Reese. That is a strike and a half from the sideline. Even the referee was smiling with the fact that one went through the post. But in his 100th game, he scored a couple bonus points there too, Reese. Making the score 47 points to 14. The bench, they are absolutely loving it. But yeah, he sort of won over from 55 out training this week. So obviously the coaches decided, you know what? Let's give him a crack at one. And to be fair, Taha Kimura may have missed it. So not a bad one. That's a knock on there from the Hurricanes. Just 100 seconds now left on the clock. But chance here. Could he be the man of the match? Sever Reese with a kick like that. Sever Reese, 100 games, 72 tries. Well, what a strike rate. Can't believe as a Blue supporter I cheered for the Crusaders conversion, says Vic. And Highlanders need to get on the phone. Get Kyle Preston over there double quick, says Hartley. The good news is they've got Pledger coming back next year. It's just that he's been injured for just the wrong timing. Once again, we'll go like this. And I like that as well. But now going away to the left-hand side, Johnny McNichol moves it on to Dallas McLeod. Have they got another one in them here? The Crusaders. Kyle Preston breaks through one tackle attempt, goes for the kick in behind. This will give the last attack an opportunity to the Hurricanes here. Callum Harkin back across to the left-hand side. 5 men on the outside. Quick hands. Johnny Rovas hung on to that one before Che Fiaki made the tackle. Now back across. Oh, drop ball from the Hurricanes. I think it's bounced off the forehead though, so it wasn't going to be a knock-on. Reese, ball on the inside. And Seb Calder showing a bit of pace for a replacement loose here. Preston, knock on there from McLeod. 20 seconds remaining, and the Hurricanes will get the last play of the day. The Canes got pumped. They won't win the comp after this humiliation. The Crusaders going to say it. Says Morgul. Yeah, very hard to judge what they're going to do from here for this Hurricane side. Are they going to be able to just bounce back perfectly in their game up against 6th place next week? Or even if they lose, they still have a chance in the semi-finals, but they'll be on a 2-match losing streak going into the semis if they were to lose next week. And that's somewhere that they haven't really been. They've only lost 3 games this year. This is going to be the 4th against the Crusaders in Christchurch, which has become a little bit of a fortress for this Crusaders team. They are undefeated at this location. And depending on what happens next week, they could have another game here. Out scrum goes in from Geordie Filioen. Last thing the Canes will want is any sort of injury here, but they'd love one last try to add on to the tally as well. Shake it off, get ready, says Shane. And NZ score, says Jasmine. And also, what was one of the questions cancelled? Sometimes I assume there's like there are certain questions they probably put up and then go, oh no, we want a different one. But like the questions that get cancelled, no one will be scoring points for. Another knock on, picked up by the Crusaders. Nice take from Taha Kimura, 15 metres out. But now, chance here for the Crusaders. It looks like they're going to kick this one into touch for Kyle Preston. And that will be the end of the game now, ladies and gentlemen. 47-14. A win for the Crusaders in front of the home crowd. Wasn't that close between the two sides, unfortunately. Remember when it was 7-7? That was fun. When it was back and forth. But then from there, the control happened. By the looks of it, is that there's still a couple pending. I think. Maybe. I'm just waiting on the leaderboard. Has it been updated completely? It looks like Vic did win. By the looks of that. WGF Crusaders. Says NZ Sports there. But 47-14. That's a good score for the Crusaders. They get themselves that bonus point victory. They move into 3rd. And now the pressure is on the Blues. They have to perform in their game up against the Chiefs. They have to receive bonus points or get the victory. Because if they don't, They play the Crusaders in Christchurch more than likely. Could be a very entertaining game. And nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure anyone who was doing that poll next play quiz along the way, be sure to put in any sort of little feedback and anything that you want to in the chat, because the guys, they have got the chat open, so they'll be reading it afterwards. There'll be like a performance review. Hopefully I don't get sacked. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I know that the next time that it is happening, though, is going to be tomorrow morning for the URC, and that is going to be between Glasgow Warriors and Connacht. So be sure to tune in for that one as well. We have got some sevens taking place later on tonight. The closest one, I believe, is between Australia and Kenya at around 10 p.m. So we will still be here for that. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all for the next one.